Good morning, beautiful people. I almost didn't make it today. I am so tired. This theater camp business, I don't know if I'm made for it, man. Straight up. It's a lot. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about day 4. And how inner guidance is really a muscle. It's something that we're going to practice again and again and again. And I'll often say that, the good news and also the bad news is that this never ends. And even now, there still are times that still kicks me in the behind, because one of the things that's just so common in our conditioning is this idea of getting to an arrival point, reaching a destination. And that's one of the real challenges, one of the areas that's so difficult to release and to break off. We were talking yesterday, the last couple of days, about like that deep surrendering and letting go, and that's like kind of the ultimate, man, is to letting go of even getting anywhere, and recognizing that the real magic, the real joy is coming home to this now moment, is being able to be here and not looking for something in the future, or not looking for something outside of ourselves. And when I tell you that this was like one of my angriest unravelings, that's an understatement. Because, first of all, on that note, anger was such a hard thing for me to deal with. Because I think in a lot of ways we're conditioned to believe that anger is wrong or bad. But then to feel anger, anger can feel intense. And that wasn't a safe emotion for me to feel. Because I don't think we're taught how to navigate anger very well. And so oftentimes the go-to is to just stuff it, to just pretend like it's not there. So if you would have asked me if anger was one of my problems, I would have 1,000% guaranteed that I didn't have anger. And when it came up, I felt like a demon was inside me coming out. Like, it was one of the most challenging aspects of this journey. It was having to come face to face with my anger, and it was huge. And so not only did it like massively disorient me, but it was so uncomfortable to sit with. But one of the things that arose during that time was the realization that you're never going to arrive anywhere. You're never going to get to the end of this journey, because the whole point of existence is just to keep expanding. And I'll often say, because it's been so helpful to me, that if you want to know if an eternal law is true, look to nature. It is so beautiful, and it shows you these things and how they unravel again and again and again. And you watch plants, and they have no concern over where they're getting to, or what season it is, or if they're gonna sprout, or if they're gonna lose their leaves now. Like, it's not a stress. There's that beautiful scripture where Christ talks about considering the lilies and just how they grow, that they toil not and they don't stress. They just are fully in the experience. And then there's a point that they do let go, and they decompose, and they go back into the soil, and then it just starts again. And that's a lot of what this journey is just that continual unraveling. This took a turn I wasn't expecting it to. And so when you're talking about, strengthening that muscle, that's really all this is showing up every day for yourself. And when you do, that muscle gets stronger and stronger, but it's all, I remember hearing once that this experience is just for the experience of having experience. And you start to really wrap your head around that, it's kind of like, whoa. And it kind of makes me giggle even in my own path right now, because the further you go, the more you strengthen that muscle, the larger leaps you're asked to make, or you're invited, I think would be a better word. You're invited to make, and the universe is miraculous, like just straight up miraculous. And so when you start getting to the point where you're invited to step into that miraculousness, it's like the invitation is to explore how the impossible is actually possible. And boy, does that take your mind for a ride, because it's the moment that you start being asked to step into what your mind knows is not logical or reasonable. And you're like, but maybe it's possible. And the trickiest part about strengthening those muscles is you don't get any indication that you're on the right track until after you jump, which obviously is with purpose, right? You put yourself off the cliff and we'll show you that we'll catch you. Doesn't have the same impact if we catch you before you go off the cliff. You got to do that first. And so it's tricky. It's tricky because your mind will tell you indefinitely to make sure you're safe before you jump, to make sure that you've got a parachute on and that your fall is going to be soft and gradual. The universe is going to tell you the opposite, and this is the quandary, right? Because your soul is like, yeah, let's do this. And your mind is like, that does not make sense. And that part gets worse. The further you go along, it gets worse. And I keep feeling to just say this, and so who cares? But one of the things after this retreat that I felt super, super led to do is for us to get a physical space so that we can really start building this community. And that's not reasonable. Any metric on the planet would say you need to build a net first. You need to be in a safe place. You need to know that this is financially actually even going to work. How are you going to commit into a lease if you don't really know that it's a viable business plan? You've had one real retreat, and I've had workshops since January. But every step of the way has been this process. And so it was really interesting because I was in meditation the other day, and I was doing a breath work, and the breath work jumped right into a breath hold right off the bat, and I was not expecting it. And so all of a sudden the mind started to freak out, and my body was like, I don't know if I can hold it for a minute. I hadn't even built up my oxygen yet. And then the spirit started to come in and started to show me, this is what's been happening. Is when we first tell you to leap, when we first tell you to jump, there's some panic. I have no clue. I didn't even realize this was coming. But then you start to build up those muscles and you start to realize, okay, it might be coming quicker than I realized. And so I was ready for it the second time. But he went like straight into a minute and a half the second time. And it still was tricky. And what the Spirit started to show me was that like that fear might not ever go away. Because it's a normal response for the mind to have. Like, shoot, I don't know if I can hold this for a minute and a half. And this feels scary. And this feels like I might die, which is funny, right? Because when you're in meditation doing breath work, I obviously know I'm going to be able to breathe again. But that panic doesn't release. Like, it's our survival instinct. And part of building these muscles is realizing it's okay. It's okay for it to be there. It's okay for that fear to be there. It's okay for my brain to wonder if I'm going to die. And know that I'm going to be okay. And so by the end of it, it was a 3-minute breath hold. And it was just realizing, like, I'm going to keep being asked to hold my breath longer and longer. But they always show up. Like, the divine always shows up. And the other big realization I had in that meditation was that I don't want to be the person that gives up right before the time's up. Like, it would be such a bummer if I threw in the towel, which you notice if you do these breathwork practices, that you always start to like really panic and let go, like 10 seconds, not 10 minutes, 10 seconds before you're there. And it just hit me so hard. Like, wouldn't that be such a bummer if I was only 10 seconds away and I said, this is just too hard, I can't do it. And so it's been really, really interesting. But my point is we decided to do it. We decided, you know what? We get it. This is scary. It's against all odds. This might not pan out. But we did it. And so yesterday we put in our application for this to lease this space. And we kind of went crazy. Like, my cute business partner, Jill, was like, you know what? I'm just going to ask for it. Like, the worst thing they can say is no, right? And that's the other thing. Like, what's going to happen? You're going to fall down? Okay. And so she's like, okay, well, let's do this. And so she asked for, like, all these crazy things, like no deposit down and a super low rent up front that we could like gradually build into what we're really supposed to be paying, and like everything that would make it 100% feasible, but like probably no one would give you this. And when she set the proposal in, she knew the lady that was going to pass the proposal on, and she was like, Jill, he's never granted this. Like, it's not gonna happen. She's like, it's okay. Like, we're just gonna ask. And it was like fast. Like, within 30 minutes, she came back and said, he said yes to everything. Like, no negotiation. Everything you asked for, he said yes to. And when she called and told me, I just like couldn't believe it. But that's what happens. Like, when you build these muscles, the impossible becomes possible. Because why not? Like, why not? And it was just so cool. Because it didn't come before. It came after we leapt and said, you know what, this is where I feel guided. And I'm going to go for it. And so the question for you today is to think, like, how many times when you followed that little gut instinct has it been beautiful? And more so, I think we realize how many times has it not gone super well and you had that thought, oh my gosh, I had the thought to do that. Or I felt to do that and I didn't, and look what happened. And so it is a muscle, and we're going to fall down sometimes, but I really feel like part of my purpose in being here is being able to show you that when we leap, when we're willing to grow those muscles, we're always going to be held. And it is so fun when like really impossible things start to become possible. And so the invitation today is to just listen. It's not this big giant thing. It's like listening to those little inclinations, not from the mind, but from your soul, moment by moment by moment, and watch where it leads you. And I'm here to walk one step ahead to tell you you're going to be safe. You're going to be okay. And my leaps are getting really big now, and I'm still safe, and I'm still okay. And so maybe you get off this today and you go journal about those little inclinations that you've been having, and just trust that if you follow them and you leap, it's going to be good. So have a beautiful day, and love you, and we look forward to leaping with you.